Test, test, test. What's going on here? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. What's going on, y'all? We got a couple setups we're looking at. We're looking at NAS and gold and GU for possible buys right now. Who was in the live yesterday and made some money? Who was in the live yesterday and made some money? Right, because NAS when it's projected, gold did the move it was looking for. It ended up doing it last night, but it still did the move it was looking for. GU did the move we was looking for. We had a lot of setups guys projected yesterday. Make sure like the lives y'all hop up in here, y'all. Yeah, but right now we're gonna be paying attention to gold and NAS. So NAS just did a nice push right here. I do like how this is looking. If NAS100 can hold 21,820 in support, same game plan like we were talking about all week. We're gonna be looking for buys going back up to 21,900. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out if you haven't already. Yes, I like how NAS is looking right here. Looking to see if gold could hold this low as support right here. If gold could hold 33.74 support, like we saw about yesterday, we're going to look for buys going back up to these highs here at 33.94, 33.96. So GJ is still technically bullish, but again, like we talked about literally for the past couple of weeks, we're struggling to make that new higher high and struggling to make new lower lows for the charts that are in the downtrend, right? So again, we see GJ again rejected this level, which is why I said we need to hold 196 as support. Now, we did catch a nice move yesterday on it, but as you can see, still ended up rejecting and retracing right back to again where we left off on Friday and where we retraced that on Tuesday. Yeah, so I like how these are looking right here. So we're going to be paying attention to these two charts right here. We just had GBP news pop off about an hour ago. We got 8:30 news popping up later on today. We're live with the members from yesterday's news. We're here with the witness and as why and go as projected, as well as we discussed some other things. Yeah, we're going to see how this first 15 plays out. Let me come to the chat, see what we got going on here. This is a very risky setup. What is a very risky setup? The daily bias is bullish, but the SL you have is risky. I'm not sure what you're talking about, right? Again, when you take a trade, there's risk in general. I'm not going to put a super big stop loss. If you're scared to take a trade and you're scared to have your stop loss get hit, you probably shouldn't trade yet, right? Because if I have a super wide stop loss, my risk reward is going to be a lot smaller. I have to put a lot smaller lot size, thus making a lot less money. But if you're confident in your setup, you can put a tighter stop loss. And my stop losses are even tight. So you're talking about risky. You should go hop on some other YouTube channels where they be putting these super tight stop losses. But at the end of the day, you don't got to take my setup, right? But watch yesterday's live stream, everything when that's projected. Watch last week's live streams, last week's Sunday chart analysis. Watch this week's Sunday chart analysis. First link in the description, by the way. But I don't know where you want my stop loss. I don't know if you want my stop loss right here. You know what I'm saying? Like the point of the stop loss isn't, that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna get into that. I ain't gonna get into that. I like my stop loss. That's all that matters. What's going on, my boy? I see you up in here. What's going on, Doug? I see you up in here. Just doing trend. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. Those just joining the stream. I'm not into these setups yet. These are just trade ideas. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal room, free Telegram. You see on your screen how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. Yeah, but when you come into the live, don't you can have opinions and shit, but don't come here telling me what I'm doing is wrong, right? That's not what this live stream's about, right? So if you're a profitable trader and you know what you're doing, start your own live stream, okay? You can take that how you want, right? But again, like you can ask questions like, "Hey, why is your stop loss there?" But don't say it's too risky because again, you know what I'm saying? Price is either going to go up or go down. It's either going to hit your stop loss or TP. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be scared of having your stop loss hit. That's not the point of trading, right? If you're scared to take a setup, you probably shouldn't trade yet, or continue to practice on a demo. All right, I'm not going to change anything that ain't broken. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, right? Because the same way I put all these stop losses, the same way I place every other stop loss for every other trade, and there's the exact system that again had us 5-0 last week. We literally was on a 3-week win streak up until this week. So I don't want to hear none of that. Don't want to hear none of that. So again, y'all, we're looking at a couple charts right now. We're mainly looking at pink in the NAS and gold. I'm gonna be looking at GU every now and then, but GU is rejecting, so I'm not gonna really mess with that one. So I'm mainly gonna be paying attention to NAS and gold, and then I got alerts on GJ and GU. But again, like we've been talking about for literally the past few weeks, we can see prices still struggling to make new higher highs. Just like with gold, we're about to reattempt to break this high. And again, if y'all was in the live yesterday, this is exactly why I said to go for high probability, high quality setups. Because imagine if you would have went for a sell here yesterday, you would have fell for the quote unquote fake out liquidity sweep. So again, this is why you don't want to go for sells until we're in a downtrend, just like you don't want to go for buys until we're in an uptrend. And when we're in an uptrend, until again the playbook says otherwise, continue to look for buys. Just like over in a downtrend, until the playbook says otherwise, continue to look for sells. Make sure to like the live as you hop up in here, y'all, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live is over. Again, y'all, it's going to be the same thing like yesterday. We got 8:30 news today. So we don't see any action, especially between now 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. It's most likely going to be chilling up until the news pops off. That's exactly what happened yesterday. And again, watch yesterday's live. We talked about NAS100 buys. Again, look at 8:30 on the dot when it did the exact move we was talking about during London session. And like we talked about with the members, if y'all missed the live, make sure to watch the recording, all right? The recording is posted. But again, like I always tell y'all, news is not scary, right? We were in a clear uptrend. So is there anything shocking or surprising about NAS shooting up at 8:30 as soon as the news popped off? No. And again, look at how price still, even with all this volume, still respects my key price levels. I keep telling y'all, doesn't matter if it's high volume, low volume, news events, bank holidays, price has to follow these rules. We got a new 15 about to pop up in a little bit, y'all. But yeah. Let me just pay attention to these two, to be honest. What's going on, Dumani? I see you up in here. All right, we're about to see if NAS can hold this level right here. Because again, same thing with NAS100, right? Like I keep telling y'all, a lot of these charts are struggling to break the previous highs to the left and make new higher highs. Again, we see price literally since this entire month started has been struggling to hold 21,820 as support. All right, so now we're trying to maintain and hold this low as support, but again, you can just see all the wickiness on the charts showing that there's clear struggle and lack of volume. So we did have volume kick in yesterday, but we didn't really get to maintain those levels like I would have wanted to have happen. But you know, it is what it is. So we're still gonna be looking for some setups though. That's a nice little retest right there. Let's see what gold's up to. Gold's still chilling. Again, those just joined the stream. We have not entered these setups yet. These are just trade ideas. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free Signal and free Telegram. You see on your screen how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. So again, we're mainly right now just paying attention to NAS and gold. New 5 minute about to pop up in about a minute. Again, y'all, it's very simple. Follow the floor price, figure out what your game plan is going to be, wait to see if price is going to meet your confirmations or not. If your confirmations aren't met, you simply don't enter. It's that simple. All right, so again, we're not going to take this setup until we can hold this level of support. If we can't hold 33.74 support and the rejection retraces back down to 33.50, we can look for buys there. Because again, this is the buy set I was looking for yesterday, but it did not do the move until fucking markets reopened and all that good shit. So ended up missing it, but we're still looking for buys nonetheless. And again, this is a terrible GJ buy because it's the same move that happened on Tuesday and the same exact move we caught on Friday. But again, it's just really struggling, like we've been talking about, to make that new high. But we still are respecting this level of support, which is a good sign. But again, we're either just going to continue to play ring around the rosy, or we're going to need some volume to break through these levels so the uptrend can continue or the downtrend can come into play. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well, y'all. You'll see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Instagram, playmaker_wait. TikTok, _playmaker_wait_. All right, y'all. Post every day on both pages. As far as how we're doing this week, we are 2-1 this week. The win streak has finally ended, but we're still back and still in profit. Again, up until not yesterday. What's today? What is today? I'm so terrible with time. Today's Thursday. What the fuck? So up until Tuesday, we was literally on a 3-week win streak. Last week we went 5-0. It was 100% win rate. The week before that, we went 4-0. The week before that, we went 4-0 again. And what? Maybe we wasn't on a 3-week win streak. Maybe it was a 4-week win streak because we went 5-0 this week as well. Okay. So maybe it was a 4-week win streak. But nonetheless, we're still up from last month and we're still up this week and we're still up from last week. Now, as far as how we ended last month, like you see on your screen, all you got to do is scroll up to the beginning of this month. I believe June 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, June 2nd. You can see how we ended last month. Last month, we went 19-1. Only took one loss. It was a 95% win rate, caught 33,162 pips. You click right here. It's going to take you to the beginning of the month. Literally, every trade is dated, timed, and documented. We go live every day. Literally can't make none of this shit up. And at the beginning of every week, we drop the Sunday chart analysis, going over the news and my projections that I see price doing throughout the entire week. You watch last week's Sunday chart analysis and look at this week, you'll see majority of the charts went as projected. You watch this week's Sunday chart analysis, you'll see the charts are going as projected. So yeah, we've been going absolutely crazy. And then you see how we ended quarter one. I'll pull it up later, but you hit that first link, you can explore and check all that stuff out. You go to where it says subscribers, you go down to photos. There's over 1,600 photos, over 3 years worth of receipts, of screenshots of positions, screenshots of signals, student results, testimonials, all that good stuff. So make sure to hit that first link description and check all that stuff out. So everybody that was asking for proof and all that is literally right there. All right, so you just gotta do a couple clicks, then you can see all that stuff yourselves. So I do like this retest on NAS right here. New 5 minutes about to pop up. Gold still got a little bit of waking up to do. But yeah, like I said, I'm mainly just going to pay attention to these charts. Of course, you guys got any questions when we look at any other charts, you can drop them in the chat and I got y'all. But these are the two setups I'm really going to be looking and paying attention to right here. What's going on, Living? I see you up in here. And if y'all didn't know, I am the author of the best trading books in the game right now. All right. I mainly be just talking about this book, but I have like 3 or 4 books I have out, right? So we got the price action technical analysis playbook, works on stocks, forex, options, and crypto. If you'll be in the TikTok lives, we're going to be probably going. I might try going live tomorrow, but again, y'all, my Wi-Fi's been trashed. It's better today. Right? It didn't crash like yesterday or the day before, so that's a good sign. But I'm probably going to just try tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, just be back at it next week. But we usually go live at least 3 times a week during New York session on TikTok. We obviously go live every day lunch session EST. But if you go to my TikTok or my Instagram and look at the pinned videos, at least one of the pinned videos goes over like the details, all this stuff. But this book literally teaches you how to read the chart. It shows you how to understand what's happening at all times. It's how all time frames work. It literally works on literally everything. And I prove that to y'all when I do the stock and crypto analysis, and of course, when I do these daily projections, these learning session lives. We also have the Trader's Mindset, Mastering Psychology and Risk Management Playbook. It goes over how to leverage risk, master discipline, how to never blow your account again. I give you my exact trading plan, and I go over details, all the stuff people talk about when it comes to trading psychology, all the stuff people be talking about, the same shit people be repeating online. I actually go in depth in detail, explain why those things are the case and how to fix and avoid them, the right mindset you need to have, as well as the reality of trading. All right. So you click that link I'm going to drop in the chat. You click the link in the description. You can get that, but you get both these books also for free when you join Playmaker University and become a Playmaker. All right, all that stuff is linked in the description. I got a couple other books too. I don't feel like pulling those out. So if you're curious, again, click that link that's about to pop up in the chat. You can see all that good stuff. So yeah, I like how NAS is looking right here. I like how NAS is looking. We'll see how this next 15 pops up though. Again, y'all, we do got news at 8:30. So yesterday, there we go. Yesterday, we did see some volume kick in, but we really failed to hold those levels that I was really looking to see held with the news. Now, gold did make his way back up again right before market closed. Market was open and made his way back up here. But as you can see, it's kind of been consolidating right here. So we cannot break above and hold 33.74 as support. We could see price retrace and try to retest 33.50 again. As long as we maintain and hold 33.28 as support, we're still bullish, right? And I went over that in yesterday's live, right? So watch yesterday's live if y'all didn't. Because again, we don't just be live looking at setups. People be asking good questions. We be breaking some stuff down. I'll be giving away an extra game during the live streams because again, not everybody watches the live streams. So, I gotta, that's just a little reward for investing in yourselves, right? Because not everybody wants to do what y'all doing right now. Right? Everybody wants to be a profitable, successful trader, but they don't want to put that time in. Right? So that's why I always be giving y'all some extra shit when we be live. Why I got no problems answering y'all's questions. But let's see what this next 15 looks like. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting right now. Let me bring my alerts back. GJ been playing games. Put it like this. So like I said, I'm not really gonna look for a setup here. But if we can, what the hell? Going on with the music? Hold on. Let me rewind this. All right, there we go. All right. So it's kind of similar situation like I was talking about with gold. This isn't a invalid buy setup, but this is the last line of defense. So I'd much rather look for a buy setup if we can break back above and hold 195.35 as support, because we have a high likelihood of seeing a nicer move, but also a higher likelihood if we can break these next two levels for the uptrend to come into play and continue, which is why I went for buys up here yesterday. Again, we caught a nice move. We barely missed TP3 on us. We missed it by literally like a pip. But we hit TP2 technically, but we missed TP3 by a pip. But again, as you can see, even with the news, it failed to hold this level. And after the news, did a nice retest, caught a nice move, but still failed to hold that level as support, just like it's been struggling to do so literally all this month. All right. So again, when everybody keeps talking about bad price action, the reason why it's quote unquote bad price action is because again, we need volume is what moves the markets. Right. If there's no volume, that's when you see the consolidation, the liquidity, the sideways market, whatever you want to call it. When there's volume, that's what helps us break through that consolidation. So if we constantly are seeing price struggling to make new higher highs or struggling to break resistance levels, holding as support, struggling to break support levels, holding them as resistance, then obviously we're going to see price constantly play pinball or consolidate in place until that volume kicks in. Right. So again, this is why it's so important to understand how to read the charts. So I'll probably go make some videos on TikTok and Instagram talking about it, because I think it's a trend at this point. And that's the kind of the thing about the internet. Like, motherfuckers just do shit for clicks and views, but for people that actually watch the content trying to learn some shit, it doesn't really help people. All right, so I'll probably make some videos talking about that. But again, this is why we wait for the retest confirmation. Price failed to hold. So again, we're not looking for sells, but we're not going to look for a buy yet until, again, our confirmations and rules are met. Just like with gold, we're still going to look for buys, but until our confirmations and rules are met, we're not going to enter that setup. Right? It's very, very, very simple. Again, the goal isn't to catch every candlestick or pip in the market. The goal is to go for high probability, high quality setups. And we talked about this in yesterday's live. Right? So I don't really care what price is doing at this point. I only really care when it comes to my key price levels and what price is doing with those levels or on those levels, right? Anything in between that, I don't really give a fuck. And that's the same way y'all should be. All right, so again, if it doesn't hold that level of support, we're going to look for a buy right here. But again, just like with GJ, gold's kind of in the same situation, right? These are the all-time highs. We see price reject that level multiple times. And then we look further right here. We see gold's kind of, again, just been kind of struggling to make that new higher high and hold this level of support, just like with GJ is struggling to hold that next level of support for the uptrend to continue. Should I be placing my my support resistance looking at it daily? Yeah, but not just the daily. Like I said, like I have a process to how to do it, but you definitely want to acknowledge and respect the support resistance levels on the daily as well. Like I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, right? The support resistance levels all over the place. Okay, so this is why I call them key price levels, because these are at the end of the day support resistance levels, but they're not just random support resistance levels, right? That's why I call them key price levels, because they're placed, and I selected these support resistance levels out of all the other ones because I know if we can hold these levels, or when price reacts to these levels, we're going to see these big moves happen, right? So again, there's a reason why every time price came to this level, it rejected, right? And there's a reason why when it rejected, it came right back down to this level, right? Again, see price rejected, came back down to this level, rejected, came back down to this level, right? Same thing here. Broke through this level, stopped right here, consolidated here, rejecting, right? Same thing right here, right? So this is why I call them key price levels, but their support resistance levels all over the place. All right, so yeah, that thing rejecting arm. But again, this is why you don't want to break out or be in such a rush to take setups. And again, you want to always stay cool, calm, collected, and stick to the game plan, right? Because if I was so excited and jumped in without seeing price hold this level as support, I would have took an unnecessary loss for no reason. You see what I'm saying? You never want to be in a rush to take a trade. Zion, before I kick your goofy ass out of here, you've been in this live from the beginning. How many times did I say, for those just joining the stream, we have not entered this trade? This is a trade idea. How many times did I say we're looking to see if price can hold this level as support? Did I say, hey guys, I'm taking this buy setup? Did I say, hey guys, I'm in this buy setup? No, what did I say? I said, I am waiting for my confirmations. And you literally just heard me say, and I knew you was going to do this because this is what losers do. You literally just heard me say, see, this is why you wait for the retest. I don't know what is wrong with you people. Y'all come into live streams because we know you're unprofitable, right? We know you're unprofitable. So y'all come into these live streams wanting help, but then y'all do this shit. But then y'all be the same people in the comments, oh, trading this, trading that. Like, I genuinely don't know what's wrong with some of you people. I really don't. Right? I really don't know what's wrong with some of y'all people. But I'm gonna help you out. Right? Get the fuck out of here. Right? Because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Let me see. Get out of here. Right? I don't know what's wrong with you. Right? And again, this is live. Rewind to the beginning. I literally said 3 different times. We are waiting to see if we can hold this level as support. This is a trade idea. We did not enter this trade yet. But yet, here you are, still saying, I told you, bro, I told you. Like I went for the fucking buy. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You're so excited at the thought of me potentially losing money. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You need help. I don't understand people that are so excited or anticipating or getting wet in the pants at the thought of somebody losing money. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyways, y'all, again, like I was saying, that's why you wait for the retest confirmations, right? Because again, this isn't the wrong buy idea, but just because we're looking for a buy, that doesn't mean price is ready to do that move at that exact moment, right? And again, going back to the key price levels, again, look at how price is reacting to this level right here. We're about to see who's going to hold this level of support here. Yeah, you can't help everybody, man. That's why I always be posting. There's two types of people in this world. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. Got a new 5 and 15 about to pop up in a little bit. Again, y'all, we got news at 8:30 today. So we're going to be looking to see if we can find some sets beforehand. But of course, we're not going to be rushing any setups. But yeah, what I want to see today is, again, at this point, like I always talk about, I don't care if we're in an uptrend or downtrend. I just need us to break out of these levels so we can have a lot more smoother setups, right? But until we break out of these levels, either hold this level as support and continue the uptrend, or these levels as resistance, start the downtrend, we're just going to continue to see fake move, right? And we see this with literally every single chart, right? We need a higher high. It's been stuck here since then, right? And just like how we saw that earlier this year as well, right? We need a higher high, consolidated for like a month and some change. Then made a new higher high, consolidated for some month and some change. And then we go even further to the left, we see the same shit happen. So we're just repeatedly at this point having some big moves for a couple weeks and then consolidation for like a month. And move for a couple weeks and consolidation for like a month. Right, same thing with gold. Right, it's just been stuck here. So till that volume picks up, we're just gonna be stuck here. Look at NAS100, same exact thing, right? We're going to naked chart. Right, same exact thing. We had to push up, a little bit of consolidation, push up, consolidation, push up. Very choppy, but still bullish momentum. So again, until we break out of this, we're just gonna be dealing with this. And this is all the more reason why, again, you want to wait for all your confirmations to be met. Because if it was like Q3 last year and going into Q4, when there was a lot more volume before, November, December, of course, you could have easily probably took a lot more trades, a lot more aggressively. But when, again, you have to understand the market conditions. When you understand and see that price is really struggling to make these next moves, that's all the more reason to be really patient and picky with your setups. You know what I'm saying? So let me see what GN's up to. But again, I don't like how any of these are looking. Besides gold and NAS, yes, all these are just playing pinball right now. Won't be going live with the members today during the news. I got some stuff to do. I'm kind of busy tomorrow too, but we'll see how it plays out. So again, this is why we're going to wait for the retest. Again, we took that trade, took unnecessary loss. Right. So again, there's a reason why I have the things to the right, because this is the idea I'm looking for. I'm not in the trade unless I have the shit right here, right? I don't think I needed to explain it, but Zion's got me scared that birds of a feather flock together. So I'm scared he might have attracted some more idiots with him. But knowing him, he probably made a burner account still watching, just like the other loser we had a couple weeks ago. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday, y'all. Make sure to check that out after the live stream is over. Also, just dropped a new stock video for y'all as well. Make sure to check those out. All playlists are up to date. GN. I'm not really messing with GN. We can talk about it, but I'm not messing with GN. That's why I don't even have the GN chart up. And the reason why I don't have the GN chart up is because, again, it's what we was talking about. It's just struggling to continue to go up and continue to go down. Right. So I was looking at GN earlier this week because we had a nice lower low and sell positions. Well, the past 2 weeks, I should say. But right, like we talked about in the Sunday chart analysis and on the live stream yesterday, we again failed to break through this level of traffic. What you see here, price rejected. So I'm not going to look for sales anymore because now it's in reversal territory. Just like prior to this, price was struggling to make new higher highs. So again, a lot of these charts are just struggling to continue to go down, continue to go up. Right, and that's just how trading is sometimes. But even with that, we're still profitable for a week and a month because, again, we're very picky with our setups. So even with the quote-unquote shitty market conditions, if you're just patient, stick to your rules, and then, again, don't let winners turn to losers, you can still make money during these conditions. Because, again, yesterday, we didn't take a trade until like 9, right? And the reason why we waited that long is because, again, our confirmations weren't met because of the market conditions. But after the news played out, we found a nice setup. Well, there was multiple setups that played out. NAS played out nicely, as well as GJ, as well as GU. Really, all these played out, but they didn't play out until 10 a.m. That's when this move, and again, took the session price to support. But again, just like we was talking about with gold, GU struggling to make a new higher high. There's why we see price rejecting. At this point, we're either going to see volume kick in and make the new higher high come into play, or we're going to see volume kick in and have a downtrend. Right? Seeing price try to do that every time. Right, so that's why, again, being very patient with our setups. That sweet spot where most volume kicks in can go away, just like right here. If you don't lie, you don't break out trade and go for retest confirmations, because even on the tiniest time frame, people can see that we're bullish now, right? So yeah, everyone in the moment looking for buys right now. And this is what you can really call when you freak outs, right? But again, at the end of the day, like you see here, price is struggling to break this level, also struggling to break this level. So once that volume kicks in, like we had on Monday a couple weeks ago, we need to hold that level. But even with that volume that kicked in Monday a couple weeks ago, we still failed to hold that level right there. Well, we can take a look at SPX too. I got you. Let's take a look at SPX. Wonder if our levels are still relevant. I haven't traded this in a minute. I haven't traded this literally since like maybe Q3 last year. But these levels are still relevant, which is interesting. But SPX, same situation. We're bullish. We got a retest going on. So let me actually fix these levels so I can give you some prices to pay attention to. So give me a second, y'all. But again, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. And I got y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. Wow. I can't believe it. I called it and I was right, but he did come in here with a burner account. That's what I was saying. Like if you really know what you're doing, like I don't understand some of y'all people. Like y'all need help, but y'all have a weird way of crying for help. I don't get it. But it's okay. You can just make you another account, or you can actually do something productive with your morning before the sun comes out. We got a lot of heavy heart rejections going on right now. And yeah, I got you with SPX. I'm just marking off some levels so we can look at some prices. All right, so in the SPX, we're kind of in the same situation like with NAS100, right, where we're bullish, but we're still struggling to make the new higher high, right? So again, see all the wicks. We broke that level. Again, just like with NAS100, we got this level of traffic to the left. Just over NAS100. We're slowly trying to break through that. So with SPX, we're still looking for buys, right? I personally wouldn't look for sells unless we break below 59.22 and hold that as resistance. So unless we break below 59.22, hold that as resistance, we're still technically bullish. As far as what we can look at for today, it's doing a retracement. So if we can maintain hold 59.92 as support, we can look for buys going back up to here at 60.15, 60.16, and possibly as high back up to these highs here at 60.38, right? Beginning, like I said, like I sound like a broken record, but it's literally like I'm showing y'all happening with all the charts, right? We just need volume to continue these trends or start the new ones. So we're going to see if the news today can do that, right? Because the news yesterday didn't do that. So we're going to see if the news today can do that. Except for GJ. GJ's rejecting hard. All these charts are rejecting hard already. And another thing too, I'm just laughing at it. The dude said "told you," but if y'all was in here, he said that the stop loss was risky. He said, "Yeah, I'm looking for buys. We're bullish, but the stop loss is risky." He never said, "Hey, I'm looking for sales." So like, what the fuck is it? Like, I honestly don't understand what's wrong with people. I'm not just irritated. I like to try to, and sometimes it hurts my brain. Try to put myself in other people's shoes to try to figure out people's thought processes. But sometimes I hurt my brain trying to figure out why stupid people do stupid things. I really be trying to do that because sometimes in life, you might run into people you don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. So I always like to try to figure out what is their thought. It's too early in the morning for me to try to figure that shit out. So just like yesterday, y'all. Okay, this is a nice retest. I'm not gonna go for a buy there though. Just like yesterday, y'all. If you don't see action between it's right before and between 4 and 6, price is probably gonna be chilling up until 8:30 when the news pops in. So it might be a repeat of yesterday where it might not take anything until New York session. Because again, you don't want to force ups Again, we're up for the week, we're up for the month, we're up last week, we're up for the entire year. So when you're up and on a, I don't really like to call it a winning streak, but it is a winning streak. But like when you're up, you already made some profits. The last thing you want to do is start to feel good and be hasty and then kill your profit. Right? I used to do that shit all the time. I used to do that all the time. I'd win like 2-3 trades, feeling good. My next trade, I'm like, man, fuck all the rules. Fuck doing what I did to get to this point. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna just take this setup or rush this setup, right? And then I'm like, damn, my win streak's over. Let me try to make it back, right? And then that's when the revenge trade. And next thing you know, you went from being up to break even to now being negative and blowing your account before you know. Right. So again, you just gotta take it day by day. The more you're on the charts, the more you'll be able to understand this stuff. Right, like literally what I used to do every day. Right? Every time I make a mistake, I write that shit down. Okay, stop doing this. Do this instead. Or when you see this, do that. Right. So every time I make a mistake, I'd review that mistake, figure out why it was a mistake, and what would be the right thing to do. And then as time went on, that's all these rules I be telling and preaching to y'all every day. And telling those students behind the scenes. Everything I tell y'all not to do, I used to do. There's a reason why I don't do it no more, right? Because like everything I tell y'all to do, I do. And there's a reason why I do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of these charts are kind of teasing their way towards reversal territory or on the last line of defense for the trends to still be valid. Another thing too, like when y'all new to trading, this is what I always tell new people, like when they hit me up, like don't even worry about a broker. Bro, I was just talking to somebody yesterday, they were like, what apps? I told them TradingView. I said, don't even worry about a broker, right? So when you're new to trading, the best thing you do, like I always talk about, is just study the charts. But even when, let's say you're not brand new to trading, but you're still, beginner or not profitable, just watch the charts. Like you don't want to trade. But I'm telling you, you just study the charts, take your emotions out of it, take the pressure or the need to try to make some money, and you just watch the charts, see what they don't do. That's when you're gonna start to really pick up on market behavior. And again, the same things that they do all the time. Like, again, price didn't just reject this level today. They rejected this level last week as well, right? Right? Price didn't just reject this level here. Price rejected this level here too, right? This was a resistance level that turned to support, right? So again, that's why I be telling you, like, there's no coincidence in the market. Everything's happening for a reason. So when you figure out why those reasons are, and on top of figure out the rules of price, that's when everything really starts to make sense. So we got to get used to respecting holding that level. But again, I'm not going to look for a buy there. I'd much rather look for a buy here, because if we can hold these levels to support, you have a higher likelihood of the uptrend continuing. What's going on, Fitmon? I see you up in here. What's going on? What's going on, Chanel? I see you up in here. Hey, wait, when is the time to get the LLC to trade? Honestly, I mean, if you want to get it right now, you could, but like when you're brand new to trading, you don't gotta really worry about that, right? Because I forgot the number, but like you have to make a certain number for like them to care and profit. I can't remember the number, um, but like unless you're making a certain amount, that's why like when y'all do y'all's tax returns, they'll ask like, hey, do you invest in crypto or stocks, right? And they'll ask like, did you make any money, right? Because depending on if you made money or not, that's when it really matters. But like if it's like your first year of trading, especially like you're not making like some like stupid amount of money, like 10,000+ the first year of trading, I wouldn't even worry about it. But it is smart to do that because then you can really treat trading like a business and also have it under your business name separate from you. But you also don't have to do that, right? Like I know plenty of people, and this is what I used to do beforehand, um, that don't have an LLC, they just trade. And I think it's like I forgot because it's different. Like with stocks is different, forex is different, and then depending on, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it really depends on what you're trading and how much you make, right? But you don't have to do an LLC if you don't want to. It just really depends on what your goals are with trading and what you really see yourself doing with it, right? Because you can just do it and be self-employed and make that money, and then file just like that. And I think it's like 30%, or I think it's like 30% you have to pay or something like that. I can't even remember. I can't tell y'all honestly, because what I do with my profits, a little bit different with how I do things. So one, like with funded accounts, because I trade both personal and funded accounts. So with funded accounts, you're under contract, right? So like it's not regular employment, and you're under contract. You're like a contractor, right? So it's a little bit different from if you was trading your personal accounts, right? But another thing you can do, again, I do things differently now from before when I first started. What I do now too is like a lot of my profits, I reinvest that shit. So like even if they wanted to, they couldn't really take shit from me because I reinvest it. So like they can't touch it. You know what I mean? So like especially with my personal accounts, like if I do withdraw any profits, I reinvest them into like crypto or stocks. That way they can't take that shit. Right. And then like my funded accounts, I have that shit under my LLC and all that good stuff. Right. But there's a lot of different things you can do, a lot of different loopholes and shit like that. But yeah, it just depends on like how much you're making and what you're trying to accomplish with it. All right, so goes pushing back up. Everybody see you can hold this low as support right here. That's a good question though, but there's a few videos on YouTube where people talk about the details. Cause like I said, I haven't done this shit in so long. Like the process, like creating and doing that shit, I can't remember. Like I did that shit like 2 years ago. I can't remember the full process, and I have people help me out with it now. But yeah, that's like the two ways you can go about it. Like you don't have to do an LLC if you don't want to. There's pros and cons to it, but at the same time, like unless you like are profitable and you made like at least like I think it's like 5,000 or something like that, it doesn't even matter. Right, but with prop firms and your personal accounts is also completely different. Because, like I said, with prop firms, if y'all read the agreements and don't just say agree and check, you're actually under contract and the contractor, right? Because again, the whole original point of prop firms were if you were able to prove and pass the two phases, they had accounts, and they still do it. Like with the top people on the prop firm websites, they will copy their trades, right? So like that's why they'll talk about you take like 80%, they took 20 because they used to actually do that shit. But then when it became a wave and day trading became a trend and not gate kept like it was back in the day, that's when all these other profits came out the woodworks, and then that's when we had all the little lawsuits and the other BS happen because a lot of people realized, hey, we can make a lot of money off this shit, right? So fuck trying to make money trading or copying the top traders that do pass and get funded. we are going to make a shit ton of money just by being a prop firm and having a bunch of poor souls that don't know what they're doing yet give us money. Because again, if you just do simple math, that's why, like I tell people, like when these people be talking about, oh, this prop firm banned me, this prop firm banned me, you do not have to worry about that shit unless you're consistently taking like 50K from them, like for like 6+ right? Because if you just do simple fucking math, okay, and there's tons of prop firms. There's the futures, forex, all that stuff. But if you just buy, like, let's just use Funding Pips for example, right? Funding Pips, their $10,000 prop firm two-step is like $68, and there's millions of traders around the world. So let's just do simple numbers, right? Let's just do simple numbers. If I have 10,000 people a day buying the second cheapest challenge, which is $68, 10,000 people, if I just have 10,000 people buy the $67 challenge, that is 680,000. Now imagine 10,000 people per day. So do that times 7. That's 4.7 mil, right? So when I tell y'all to stop listening to all these motherfuckers on the internet, take that money, put that money into a live account. So you have a real live account to make some money with, and there's money all over the place. There's money. Like these motherfuckers are making hella money. They're making millions a day. Like literally, they're literally making millions a day, right? So the only time they're gonna be on some bullshit about your payouts is if you're consistently pulling out like 10, 20K plus per payout from them, right? And that's why I also don't recommend to be solely dependent on prop firms, because again, that's how these people get fucked up. Because I'm like, if you're able to pass 10 plus prop firm challenges and hold them for like 3 months and consistently get payouts, why the fuck would you not put those profits into a live account and then risk more than 1 to 2% per trade? Right? Again, it doesn't make sense. I get it, it's free money, but that's why when that shit happened with forex funds a year or two ago, and everybody was freaking out, I was chilling because one, I didn't have all my eggs in one basket. I had other prop firm challenges I was trading with, and then two, my profits I was put into live accounts. Right, so it's the same thing with trading, right? Like when you first start, you should just have one account, right? But you can open up multiple accounts with your broker. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's why I always remind y'all, you got to remember what we're doing here at the end of the day. This is no money glitch. This is no get rich quick scheme. We're investing. The smart part about investing, or the most important part about investing, is making smart investments. And being a good investor is not having all your eggs in one basket. You get what I'm saying? There's that. Yeah, these charts are just wonky. So another thing, y'all. Again, you don't have to take a setup every day. Yes, we took a trade every single day this week so far. Yes, we took a trade every single day last week. But if you go through the free signal for Telegram, you'll see that there was plenty of days we didn't take setups. Right? So obviously we took a trade every day. Yes, last week, when we look at 2 weeks ago, there was 2 days we didn't trade. Obviously Monday there was a bank holiday, but then Friday we didn't take a trade, right? So, and we look at this week, right? Thursday I didn't take a trade. We look at this week, I took a trade every day. Let me see. This week, again, so when everybody's talking about, oh, price action is bad, price action is bad. Don't fucking take a setup. It's so simple, y'all. I promise you, it is so simple. If you don't see a setup you like, or if you do not feel confident before you hit buy or sell, the best thing to do is not take a fucking setup, right? Because again, you see here, there was 2 days we didn't trade, but we're still up for the week, right? So again, you don't have to trade every single day, right? The goal isn't to trade every single day. The goal is when you do take a trade to make some money, right? This week, we only traded 3 days that week, right? So sometimes people get upset with me because I don't call a signal every day. But again, would you rather me call a bullshit signal and you lose money and hurt your profits? Or would you rather patiently wait for, again, A plus setups. It's like I talk about all the time. I don't like this talk online when people talk about A plus setups, because that tells me that you're going for C plus and D minus setups. Again, if I'm going to put my hard-earned money on the line, why am I just going to do dumb shit? Again, that's why people talk about trading is risky and gambling. And I always say trading is not risky. You're just being risky. Trading is not gambling. You're just gambling, because, again, it's so simple. If you do not see a setup you like, don't take it. If you don't see any setups, don't take it. Don't try to make up a setup in your head or make up a scenario where, oh, this could happen. Just simply don't take a trade. It's so simple. So again, when everybody was talking about, oh, Trump, oh, Elon, oh, price action. Again, we only took 3 trades, but guess what? We was 3 up, right? So again, it's quality over quantity. It's quality over quantity, right? Again, didn't take a trade Thursday or Friday. We still went 3-0 this week. Why? Because the days we did take trades, we made money. All right, so it's very, very hard. You don't got to trade every day. You got to trade every day, especially if the confirmations aren't met, especially if you don't see the setups you would like. Let's see what else we got going on up in here. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, shout out Cali, man. I gotta visit Cali again. It's been a minute. I might visit the other side, because when I was out there, I was in the LA Santa Monica side. I lived in like Santa Monica, Malibu area for like 2 years. LA for like half a year or a year, can't remember, something like that. I was in Cali for like maybe 2-3 years, or something like that. But everybody used to say, "Oh, was it NorCal, South?" I don't even remember. They're like, Sacramento's way different or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So next time I go out there, I'm gonna have to check out that side. But yeah, it's good to be prepared. But like I said, like that, until you're making like a certain amount, like I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but if you look it up, if you Google it, it's gonna pop up. I think it's like 2,000, 5,000 or something like that. That's when it really starts to matter. And obviously, like when you start really pulling in like 10K plus, that's when it's really gonna start to matter. Especially if, again, if you have it going into your personal bank accounts, especially when you don't really be getting money like that or in that amount at one time. The banks could flag that. I had that happen to me before. My banks flagged it before, like, oh, bro, you scamming or something? What's going on? Right? Or, same thing like when you like make a bigger purchase than you usually do, and then your bank's like, yo, like, you don't really spend money like this. What's going on? Let me decline that transaction. Then you got to call the bank and like, no, that was me. I know, right? I'm balling today, right? But it's kind of the same thing with that. But it is like think ahead. And when you do it in the LSD or S corp and all that shit, you will actually be able to pay less too, simply because of that. It's kind of weird. Like it's just like running a business, right? If you don't make an LLC, you have to pay more, which is fucking weird. But on top of that, if shit goes left, they're coming for you. But if you have an LLC or S corp, you pay less, and then if shit goes left, it's not on you, it's on your business, right? So it's kind of interesting how that shit works. But like, I think everybody should have an LLC, even if it's not trading wise. LLCs are just good to have. Let's see what else we got going on up in here. I currently use Osprey in my live account. I think they're shutting down. Any suggestions for brokers to look into to be able to trade metals and indices on TradingView? So that's the thing. A lot of like US regulated brokers, at least the ones I know about, they kind of took gold off. Like, it was kind of weird. Like, and this is also another reason why I'll be telling you, like, there's no coincidence in the market. So like literally a week before gold exploded and made all-time highs, like they took gold off. So with me personally right now, I trade gold strictly on my prop firm accounts, right? So like my live personal accounts, I trade mainly forex. I do have a futures account, but I don't really be on it that much, to be honest. I mainly just be on live accounts trading forex, and then on my prop firms, I'll do like indices or gold, and of course forex accounts. But yeah, so gold, I can't tell. I ain't gonna say there isn't any because I never confirmed that. But to find one to trade gold, that's gonna be a little bit tricky. If anyone in the chat knows, hopefully they can help you out. But as of now, I strictly only trade gold on my platform accounts for that reason. I used to trade gold on my unregulated broker and on my regulated broker until they took it off. I tried IG. IG got turned to TastyFX, and they don't let you trade gold no more. Like it's still there, but if you try to buy or sell, they won't let you do it for some dumb reason. But yeah, try Tradeovate. I don't use Tradeovate, so I can't vouch for that. I have students who use Tradeovate, so try Tradeovate. And if that works, let me know because I might switch Tradeovate. I ain't like I have a bunch of people that use Tradeovate. I've been not using it. I haven't been using it. I've never used it. So if that's the sign for me to switch over, I might switch over. Right. So like I said, I have a futures account, but I just didn't use it. That's like when the regulated shit was happening. That's when I really was going to go on to the future side, but I trade futures too, obviously, like indices, NAS100, shit like that. Like my favorite pairs, like I love gold because gold was the first pair that I made my first $100 ever. Like my first ever $100 trading I made on gold. So gold's always going to have a sweet spot with me, because that was my first $100 I ever made trading. Right now, I gave that shit back a week or two later, but that was the first time I ever made $100. So me making $100, that was like the first taste of like real victory for me. It was no over leveraging. It was a very calculated play. I just had two positions on that bad boy, and I made $100 like holding that shit for just like a day. And I was like, yo, like that was like, okay, this is confirmation that this shit is definitely possible. I just did that shit. Right, so gold is always gonna have a special place in my heart. I wish I had the screen. I mean, it might be on my. That was like 3 phones ago, so it's not on my. It's not in this. I don't even think it's on my fucking. I don't even think I have that anywhere, honestly. I used to have those screenshots, but I said that was like 3 phones ago. I'm trying to look at my 2022 highlights on Instagram. I don't even see that shit is. I don't got that shit no more. That shit's just in my head now. I mean, I do have that old phone, but I gotta fix that shit. That shit won't even turn on anymore. So we see gold pushing up on the move. When I knew was talking about. Still needs to hold this level of support though for the uptrend to continue. Projecting still. Jeez, kind of chill. New 5 minute about to pop up in a little bit. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When we're looking at any charts, drop them in the chat. But I catch you to the chat right now. Let me know, because I be noticing a lot more people be, I know probably because of work and shit too, but a lot more people be in the lives at 4 a.m. So it's 4 a.m. Is that, now I ain't going to not go live 3 a.m., right? But do y'all want me to be live during 4 a.m. too? Do y'all like the lives going past 4 a.m.? Now, I ain't going to be like these motherfuckers that be streaming for 8 hours straight. I ain't doing that shit, but I don't mind chilling with y'all through 4 a.m. Like I said, like y'all asking questions and shit, I ain't got no problem. Because like I said, like without streaming, I'm not on my computer like this. I'm not. I'd probably be in bed right now, or doing some other shit, you feel me? But I don't mind having longer lives, man. Got questions rolling and shit like that. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. What time is New York session live stream? Only time I go live during New York session is either when I go live on TikTok or when I go live like yesterday during high impact news events with the members and students in the events by Student or Playmaker University. But I'm not going live today during New York session. I got a couple things to do, and I got a one-on-one session like right before the news pops off, so can't do that and go live with the members. So so I'm not gonna be going live today. And then my Wi-Fi, I might go live today, but no promises. So if I let y'all know I'm going live, I send that link out like always. I'll let you know if I go live on TikTok, because again, the Wi-Fi's been kind of trash. Like, it didn't crash today though, like yesterday. Like, if y'all was in the yesterday's live, that thing crashed. If y'all was in the TikTok live, I don't remember. Fucking time's flying. Tuesday, I think it was Tuesday. Y'all couldn't really hear me, so my Wi-Fi's been trash. Like, it was fine over the weekend, but like literally like Sunday night, Monday morning, I don't know what the fuck was happening over here. But if my Wi-Fi is straight, I might go live today. But again, no promises. I always let y'all know when I go live. Appreciate subscribing though. So after this live is over, make sure to explore the playlist, because I did just drop a new video today. Well, not today, I dropped a new video yesterday for y'all. And we got multiple playlists on here just with free games, tons of free games. All right, tons of free games. All right, we got the day trading tips playlist. We got the trade breakdown playlist. We got the stock analysis playlist, the altcoin analysis playlist, the how to trade news playlist. Also, make sure to hit that first link in the description and join the free stream for Telegram. Let's do on your screen over there last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link. Check it out for yourselves. Speaking of TikTok, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You'll see that scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Let me see what else we got going up here. I'm using TradeAway for futures. Just started the futures though. Okay. Yeah, like I said, like the reason why yesterday I went live at 4 is I'll do that every now and then, because again, like the more you're on the charts, the more you can realize some shit. Like again, there's the reason why yesterday price did what we talked about as far as projections before and during the news, and also the behavior before and during the news. Because again, like I was talking about earlier this live, everything I was taking notes on everything. And I'm telling y'all, when I was in school, I never took notes. I never studied. Like, I know some people might not believe me, but I was one of those students that I could just retain information. Like, I could listen. I could just sit in class, listen to what the fuck they were saying, and retain like 80% of that information. Right? So I used to never take notes. I used to literally calculate, if I don't do this assignment and I get a 0, will I still be able to do sports? Will I still be able to pass? Okay, cool. So I'm not going to do this next assignment. Fuck it, right? And I literally went so extreme with it. I said this before, like literally one of my finals, didn't even try because I knew that I was still going to pass the semester average because I had like an A semester one and that class and like a B semester two. So literally, it was like a final senior year for it was like science or some shit. It was like 100+ questions, and I was like, bro, I am not about to do this shit. So I literally sat down, and I don't recommend this, but I don't give a fuck. This is what I don't give a fuck, right? So literally, I sat down for 5 minutes. I waited for 5 minutes to go by, and I just bubbled random shit on the Scantron. And I gave that shit to my teacher. My teacher knew I was full of shit. As soon as I gave it to him, he just looked at me and I just started smiling. But again, I did that because I didn't give a fuck and I knew I was going to pass, right? So I say that all to say, trading literally is like one of the few things that I actually had to put some effort into and take notes and study, right? So that's coming from someone that used to never do that shit. And trading actually made me have to take notes and study. So again, so I'm telling y'all take notes and study. Y'all take notes on everything. Take notes on what news events did what days price did what, how price reacted today, why it did that. Review and study y'all's trades. You're going to improve. But not just if you take notes, but if you use those notes, right? Because again, we talked about this before. The big part of trading psychology people don't talk about isn't, you got to have the right mindset or all of this. That's too, but it's habits, right? You got to break those bad habits and replace them with good habits. You got to have some discipline, right? But before you can do that, you got to figure out how all this shit works. But yeah, so that's why I didn't go live yesterday, because I looked at the charts. I knew we had news, and the way the charts was looking last night, Tokyo session. Well, not last night, but 2 nights ago, Tokyo session. I was like, yeah, price is probably not going to do shit this first hour. So I'm going to just go live 4 a.m. And then sure enough, we still didn't see anything too crazy, but we saw some action compared to 3 a.m. But yeah, so I just be noticing, like, when I be ending the lives, I usually do a live for like an hour, unless people are asking questions, I'll go a little bit longer. But I be noticing, like, a hell of people start to come in when I'm about to end the live. And like yesterday, we had a lot more people in during 4 a.m. So I'm like, maybe I should start being on a little bit longer. But like I said, I'm not going to become one of these people that be live streaming for 2 sessions straight. Like, that's insanity. I ain't about to do all that though. What's going on, Vinny? I'm not blowing accounts anymore, but I'm not profitable enough to make my first withdrawal. Are you talking about with prop firms? I'm assuming you're talking about with prop firms. Let me know. Let me know. Hopefully you're still in here. I know that you dropped that like 4 minutes ago, but let me know. All right, so I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to see you respond, and then I will just say what I'm gonna say. But before I say what I'm gonna say, I want to make sure I know if you're talking about with personal accounts or you're talking about with funded accounts. Okay, because you're not alone. And I love comments like this because then I can really do what I be doing best, which is ramble. But if you listen to the rambles, it's not full of shit. You know, it's still worth the listen, right? But yeah, let me know. Let me know if you're talking about personal or you're talking about prop firms, right? So I'm gonna wait a couple minutes because I know I'm a little bit late to that question. But we're gonna talk about it. Shout out South Africa. What is it? Daytime right now? No, it's nighttime, right? It's nighttime, right? It's nighttime over there, right? Because I feel like if I'm not wrong, like when it's nighttime for me, it's like morning time for y'all. So it's nighttime for y'all right now, right? Morning 10:30. Okay, so I'm just completely off then. Wait. So it's 10:30. So maybe when it is nighttime for me, it is morning time. I don't fucking know, but it's 10:30 right now. I'll do the math later. Okay, 10:30. That's interesting. I don't know why I thought y'all was that the gap was a little bit further. That's not too big of a gap. Any advice for on a new focus points for making? Okay. Any advice on new focus points for note making for a newbie? Yes, I got you. All right. So if you're brand new to trading, right? And some of y'all ain't gonna like to hear this, but again, I'm not here to tell y'all what y'all like to hear and make y'all feel good. I'm here to tell y'all what y'all need to know. If you're brand new to trading, the last thing you need to worry about is taking trades, especially with a live account. Okay. I do not recommend y'all even trade with real money until you are at least profitable, not for a day or two, but profitable for a month to 3 months minimum. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but again, a month to 3 months minimum. Okay. So, as far as notes, the first thing you need to figure out is how to read the charts. Okay. So, as you're learning how to read the charts, I want you in the beginning to just look at one chart. Okay. And then after that, you can move on to three charts. But in the beginning, just focus on one chart because you need to first understand how price moves, how price works, and then you need to see how price moves, how price works on that chart. And then once you're able to understand how price moves, how price works on that chart, with on top of how price moves in general, then you'll be able to read any other chart. Okay. So the notes you need to take is okay. Hold on. Let me pull this out. I got you. Give me one second. Give me 1 second. I got you. That's a good question. Yeah, I might start doing lives a little bit longer because we got some people up in here, and I like the questions today. I like the questions today. All right. So first thing you need to do is understand how to read the charts. Okay. Price action technical analysis playbook teaches you exactly how the charts work. It goes over the rules of the uptrend, rules of the downtrend, rules of consolidation. I give literal examples of how the shit works, what to look out for. So first you need to understand how the charts work. You need to understand why price is going up, why price is going down, what's making price go up, what's making price go down. Okay, once you understand that, that is when you want to open up a demo account. Okay. And then with the demo account, I want you to start practicing taking setups. Okay. But before you can do that, you need to learn how the charts work. Okay. So you can either get that book. I dropped that link in the chat earlier. I don't know if you can still find it. We'll drop it. But you need to learn how to read the charts first. And also on my YouTube channel, go to the day trading tips. Actually, I'm gonna drop some videos right now. Okay. So these videos are gonna help you out. Okay. These videos are gonna help you out. Give me 1 second. Got you right now. Okay. Got you right now. I'm about to drop some videos in the chat right now. And I ain't forgetting about you, Vinny. Just went to see if you responded. But I'm about to drop some in the chat right now. Okay. So watch this video right here. Okay. Watch this video right here. Right. So what you need to do is you need to first, like I said, understand market behavior, how price works. Once you understand how price moves and how price works, that is when you can start trying to figure out to determine whether price is going to go up or down at that moment where you're looking for buys or sells. Okay. So as you're taking trades, again, on a demo account, I need you to document everything that took place, where you bought at, what your SL and TP was, why you was looking for buys, right? Not just because price went up. I need you to explain in writing to yourself why you went for buys. Because when you start to do that, you're going to start to realize that one, the idea makes sense, or two, it doesn't make sense, right? And I do this with members and students all the time. Now, it depends, right? So if I have a member or student that's brand new, it's a little bit different, but sometimes I have people that, obviously know some trading that do one-on-one session with me. So we'll review trades and I'll be like, okay, so why did you take that setup? And as they start talking, they'll start to slow down mid-sentence and realize, wow, that actually didn't make sense, right? So you need to document everything. This is why I tell the members and students as well in the signal room, right? When a trade goes your way, don't just be happy it went your way. Review that trade. Understand why it went your way. Understand what you could have improved on or what you did good. Figure out what you need to repeat, what you need to tweak, right? When a trade doesn't go your way, review that trade. Again, don't just be upset and close your computer. Figure out what went wrong. Was the trade idea wrong? Was there lack of volume? This, that, and the third, right? And the only way you're going to really be able to do this part is after you understand how to read the charts. Again, it is so important to understand how to read the charts, because we make money based off the charts, we lose money based off the charts. So the first thing you got to do is how to read the charts. But you need to take notes from everything you do. You need to know, okay, this is the trade I took. This is why I took the trade. This is how I played out. You also need to document how much you risk per trade, right? But before you can do even that, there's still more shit you got to learn, which is how to calculate lot size, how to calculate and count pips. Members and students don't know how to calculate your lot size or how to count pips. Read the pinned messages either in the Playmaker University channel or the Advanced Play Signal Room channel. Join the group chat. Read the rules first, then join the group chat. And then look at the pinned message in the group chat, and I have a video showing you how to calculate your lot size. Because believe it or not, you should be risking the same of every single trade. It doesn't matter if I go from trading gold to NAS100 to GU to GJ. Every trade I take, I'm risking the same amount. Because again, I know how to count pips, I know how to calculate my lot size. Okay? So that's what you need to do, right? So again, before you start trading, you need to learn everything first. And then let's say you fast forward, you learned all this shit. Then you do what I talked about. You need to review and document every trade. Because that's the only way you're going to improve. Okay? You got to document everything. That's what I did. And that's how I was able to come up with these rules. Everything I teach, I literally came up with all these rules. I came up with the strategy. I came up with how to mark off this key price level. I came up with the do's and don'ts. Everything I came up with was due to, again, I had to learn the hard way, trial and error. So everything I did right, I wrote down. Keep doing that. This is why I went right. Every time I made a mistake, I wrote down what the mistake was. I wrote down, stop doing that. Do this instead. Right? And that's the best way you're going to learn and improve. Right? So you just got to document everything and take notes and review everything. Because like I said, the hard part isn't learning how to trade. The hard part isn't learning how to read the charts. The hard part is replacing those bad habits with good habits and instilling that discipline. And the only way you're going to replace those bad habits with good habits is if you take notes, you follow those notes, you stick to your rules, and you review the trades you took. That's the only way you're going to figure out what those bad habits are, what the good habits are, and what you need to do and what you need to stop doing. You get what I'm saying? And I can literally go on and on and on, but like I said, I'd be talking for like 30 fucking minutes. So yeah, but if you got any other questions, hit me up, or like I said, come Playmaker, join Playmaker University. But that's just to start with. Like I said, I can really talk for like 30 fucking plus minutes about that, but I gotta get up to these other questions. But that's where you start. Yeah, that's where you would start. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so we started last week. Okay, perfect. So, like I said, the first thing you need to do is learn how to read the charts. So watch these two videos. These videos are going to help you out with that. And then watch the day trading tips playlist, because I have a lot of videos going over like how to avoid fake outs, reversals, all other types of shit, right? Support, resistance, supply, demand. Also check out the trade breakdowns playlist, because I actually go over step by step trades I actually took, process, my mindset behind it, entry and exits. So that's going to help you out as well. But the first thing you got to do is learn how to read the charts. Because if you don't understand how to read the charts, you're going to struggle, right? The biggest mistake I used to make, and a lot of traders make, is we're in such a rush to throw our money away. And what I mean by that is, again, like I always talk about with the driving analogy and the surfing analogy, right? If you're brand new to something, you are going to make mistakes. But the mistakes here aren't like if I was trying to learn how to skateboard and I try to do a kickflip and I busted my ass and scraped my knee, right? The mistakes when it comes to trading cost you, literally. So again, if I'm brand new to something, I know I'm going to make mistakes. Why am I going to put money into a broker and start taking trades when I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet and just throw my money in it, right? Then that's when the emotions really gets in your way, because then you're trying to make that money back, or you're putting money in there that you can't actually afford to risk. So that's even more pressure on you trying to make money and all this other shit. But I promise you, if you just take your time, learn how the charts work, and then go from there, everything's going to make sense. Everything's going to make sense. Let's see what else we got going on up in here. But yeah, meanwhile, gold's kind of going as projected. But I'd like to see a retest or price break above that level first. So I'm just chilling off of that. Um, 1 hour earlier than me. Okay, so all right, so you didn't answer me, Vinny. So I'm just going to assume you're talking about funded accounts. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? So again, are you talking about funded accounts or live accounts? So I'm gonna look at the chat. But I'm gonna start talking about this. All right. So I'm not blowing accounts anymore, which is good, but I'm not profitable enough to make my first withdrawal. So what I need you to do, right? And this is why I'm trying to laugh, because people hit me up all the time like, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I'm like, bro, if you can't even show up to the live stream, don't ask me why I don't do this, do that. Because as y'all know, I be giving out hella free game, separate from the free projections that go out daily. But again, you want to watch the live, right? Again, we see how many people's in the free Telegram. We see how many people be watching the live. So it's always trying to call out, because one, you're doing what most people don't want to do, which is invest in time. So that's why I reward y'all with this extra free game. So this is what I need you to do. I need you to go to your trade history, okay? And I need you to look at your trades. I need you to look at your wins and your losses. The first thing I need you to look at is, are you losing more trades than you're winning? Do you see a lot more red than green? Right? That's the first thing. Do you see a lot more red than green in your trade history? Okay. After you confirm whether you see a lot more red than green in your trade history, then I need you to pay closer attention to those numbers. Are your wins constantly smaller than your losses? Are you winning more than one trade and one loss is canceling out more than one trade? Okay. If you answered yes to those first two things, those are your issues. Okay. You're having inconsistent wins and inconsistent losses, right? If your losses are always canceling out your wins, you're never going to be able to be profitable, right? And on top of that, if you're losing way more than you're winning, that's also going to be the reason why you're struggling. This is why I always tell people, I talked about this earlier in the live, you need to risk the same amount every single trade. Again, you need to risk the same amount every single trade. And if you do not like what I just said, that means you got some more practicing to do, whether that's building up your confidence or you don't have the confidence because you need to practice some more on a demo. Okay. I hate when I go online and I see people say, and it's always these big influencer traders, oh yeah, I was feeling real confident in this trade, so I risked 3% today. But when I'm not so confident, I'll risk 2 or 1%, or I just took a win, or no, I took a loss. So instead of risking 3% again, I'm gonna draw it down to 1.5%. No, you don't make your money on the front end you make your money on the back end. I'm going to say that again. You do not make your money on the front end. You make your money on the back end. Now, what does that mean? It's the same thing when you be seeing online these lot size keys. Those lot size keys are bullshit. Let me explain why those are bullshit. If I take 3 different trades, okay? Let's say I took 3 different trades. The first trade is a 25 pip stop loss. The second trade is a 50 pip stop loss. And the third trade is a 75 pip stop loss. And I put a standard lot size for all 3 trades. And let's say all 3 trades hit my stop loss. Am I losing the same amount on every one of those trades? No. I'm losing way more on the 50 pip stop loss than I did on the 25 pip stop loss. And I'm losing way more on the 75 pip stop loss than I did on the 50 and 25 pip stop loss. So again, you can't be just putting the same lot size for every single trade, because that's going to fuck your account up, because you're going to have one inconsistent restore ratio setups, and you're going to be risking inconsistent amounts. You need to risk the same amount every single trade. So you risk 1% on Monday, you need to risk 1% all week, all month. You risk 2%, you need to risk 2% all week, all month. Right? You risk 5%, you need to risk 5% all week, all month. Okay? And another thing with this confidence shit, every trade you take, you should be confident in. If you're taking a trade and you're not confident in it, do not take the trade. Again, this is the big difference between gamblers and traders, and being risky and not risky when it comes to trading. Okay? Another thing, you're talking about break even. So are you letting these trades play out all the way? Or are you moving your stop loss to break even and getting worked out? So again, there's a lot of different things. I would have to talk to you more on the back end, but that's just a few things to look at right now, figure out why you're profitable or not profitable. Okay, and that's for everybody. So again, timestamp that shit, rewind, have that be your everyday morning listen. I don't give a fuck, but I just gave y'all some serious game right there. Okay, so that's that. Those are the main reasons why you're not profitable. Okay, like I said, there could be some other things, but we'd have to talk about that behind the scenes, or like one of our sessions or some shit. Right, because I have to look at the trades, look at your broker, your trade history, all that other shit. But just talking right now, those are the main things you need to pay attention to, and that's going to change your trajectory. Also depends on your win rate as well, but that's another conversation. Right, so back to what I mean by you make money on the back end, not the front end. Again, you can't put, a lot of people do this. And I used to do this too. Oh, if I put this lot size, I can make this much. Right? But if you put that lot size, you can lose that much too. You don't make your money based on the lot size. You make your money based on the pips and the risk reward ratio setup. Okay. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. We're gonna be on for a little longer, but I cut you to these chats right now. I might just give y'all some serious game right there. Let me get you to this chat though. Let's see what else we got going on. What's going on? I see you up in here. Dude, thanks so much. I was already going to stop fiddling with the demo. Yep, exactly. Because again, like, this is why I tell people, right? And again, these people online, they know what they're doing. That's why I do things a little bit differently over here, right? That's why people be upset with me, because they're like, you know, everything you say is documented and dated, so you can't be making this shit up. But you don't show me the stuff other people show me, so I still am refusing to believe this shit makes sense. But like, you just logically think what I'm talking about and just listen. Everything I'm talking about makes sense, right? So again, I'm telling you, if you learn how the charts work first, learn how the charts work first. You learn how to count pips. You learn how to calculate your lot size. You understand your work. You come up with the trade. If you do all of this and then practice on a demo account until you're profitable for a month to 3 months straight, not having 2 good trading days, not having 1 good week, but being profitable for that at the end of the month, right? At the end of the month, if you can end up profitable at the end of the month for a month to 3 months straight, okay, then go to a live account. And I promise you, you're going to make money. Because that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what my members and students do. Right? So again, everybody can have a winning day, a winning week. But if your strategy works for a month straight, a quarter straight, as long as you stick to it, it's going to work every month, every year, which is again why when everybody's been talking about price action's been trash, we still have been making money. Because again, I understand how to read the charts, I have a game plan, I stick to the playbook. And again, this is the shit we've been doing since 2022. We've been doing this shit since 2022. Right? We've been doing this shit since 2022. You got GU breaking above this level. All right, so things are slowly starting to go as projected. But again, I'm just kind of chilling right now. I'm just vibing, answering those questions. Appreciate you, bro. I'm going to work on that. Yeah, I'm telling y'all. This is exactly what I did. Right? Because again, I used to blow a lot of money. Blew a lot of money figuring this shit out. And then I was like, enough's enough. I took the money out the picture. I stopped trying to take trades. I stopped watching one YouTube video or short and started taking trades. No, I took the money out the equation and I spent all my time learning, studying, practicing. Then the money came, right? And again, when you're practicing on these demo accounts, I know you can't put a $500 demo account. I know you can put a 2K demo account. You can't put a 5K demo account. I know it's going to be 50, 100K. That does not mean do these dumbass lot sizes. You know damn well you will not be trading on your real accounts. Right? There's no reason y'all need to be putting 5 lots. You know you're going to have a 3K live account, right? There's no reason to do that shit, right? No reason to be doing these 20 lots when you know you're going to be buying a 25K, 50K funded account, right? So that's another thing people talk about. They'll be like, oh, your accounts aren't the same because I don't feel that pressure when it's real money and all this shit. I'm like, you feel that pressure because you dicked around on the demo account, right? So I spent all my time on the demo account doing dumb shit that was not relevant to what I'll be doing in my real accounts. You think I'm just going to snap my fingers, hit the gear button, and go to my live account, and I'm gonna act completely different? No. And again, it's all about habits and discipline. Habits, discipline. You get what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Again, if you want to contact me directly, y'all can view my Instagram, Telegram, TikTok. I was messages. You should have TikTok, free for Telegram. If you're interested in learning how to identify these levels, exact strategy, and learning directly from me, hit those links in the description. Sign up for one of those sessions or join Playmaking University. Again, watch my new video I dropped yesterday. Watch to the end, of course. We watched the last 2 weeks. I go over all these details. Of course, you got any other questions, you can hit me up. But yeah, y'all, we're gonna see what this news does in the next couple hours. We don't see any action. We're starting to see some action right now, but we don't see any action between now and 6 p.m. Price is probably gonna be chilling up until the news pops off, just like how it did yesterday. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody's been live since y'all joined. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. London session 3 a.m. EST.